Hello students, welcome to my online class. Today we are going to read our second lesson Lost Spring Stories of Stolen Childhood from our supplementary book Flamingo, which is written by Anis Jung. Before going through the lesson, let uh, know something about the author. Anis Jung was born on 1st January 1944 in Rourkela. She spent most part of her childhood and adolescence in Hyderabad. She belonged to aristocratic family of poets. Her father, Hosier Jung, was a renowned scholar and poet who served as an advisor to last Nizam of Hyderabad. Her mother and brother were also Urdu poets. After schooling from Osmania University in Hyderabad, she went to USA for higher studies at University of Michigan, where she did her masters in sociology. She started her career as a journalist for the Times of India publication in 1976. She has been an editor, columnist for major newspaper in India and abroad, and authored several books. She came to limelight with the publication of Unveiling India in 1987, which was a travel diary in which she depicts the pitiable conditions of Indian women. New Moon, Seven Sisters, Breaking the Silence, Beyond the Courtyard are some of her wonderful creations. Lost Spring, which is written in 2005, is an article which focuses on children from deprived backgrounds. The author analyzes that grinding poverty and tradition are the causes of exploitation of these deprived sections. Our given lesson is divided into two parts. First is sometime I find a rupee in the garbage, in which the main character is Sahib, who is a rag picker and a migrant from Dhaka. Second part is I want to drive a car, in which the main character is Mukesh, who is a bangle maker from Firozabad. Now, let's start a brief summary of the lesson. There are two encounters of the author to these unprivileged children. First, with a rag picker boy named Sahib who migrated from Bangladesh in 1971 and lived in Semapuri, Delhi. The children look for valuables in the garbage. Their parents' only means of survival is the garbage dumps. The boy, every day early in the morning, set out his journey in search of the valuables and to meet his both ends meal. Finally, the boy had got a job at a tea stall for rupees 800 but had lost the freedom which he had enjoyed as a rag picker. The second boy is from a family of bangle maker in Firozabad. He dreamed of becoming a car mechanic. His family is traditionally engaged in bangle making, although the profession harms them physically and hardly earn enough to satisfy their hunger. Family elders are content that they taught art of bangle making to their children. No one dares to dream to change their profession as they are afraid of police and middlemen. Thus, Mukesh has shown a dare to change his profession. Now, let's go through the uh, lesson line by line. The first part of our story is sometimes I find a rupee in the garbage. Why do you do this? I asked Sahib, whom I encounter every morning scrounging for gold in the garbage dumps of my neighborhood. So, the story begins with the conversation of the author with the main character Sahib, who was a rag picker. So she asked him why he is doing such menial work. So here gold refers to the things which Sahib used to collect from the garbage dumps and sell in the market or to the junk dealer. So the author is trying to inquire from Sahib that why he is doing such kind of work. Sahib left his home long ago, set amidst the green field of Dhaka. His home is not even a distant memory. Now the author gave a brief description, history of the of Sahib. Originally, he belonged to Dhaka, the capital city of Bangladesh, and many years back, their family has shifted to Delhi. There were many storms that swept away their fields and homes. His mother tells him that's why they left looking for gold in the big city where he now lives. So Sahib's mother tells him that their parents have left their ancestral place because of the storms and the floods which generally frequently destroyed their crops. So they came to India and settled at Simapuri with the hope of getting a better opportunity and means of livelihood. And they uh, started the profession of rag picking. I have nothing else to do, he mutters, looking away. Now, Sahib is tried to responding to the author's question. He informed the author that he had no any other work to do, so he is only doing this rag picking. Go to school, I say glibly, realizing immediately that uh, how hollow the advice must sound. Then I advised Sahib to go to school. But very soon I realized that my advice is really hollow, means meaningless to a boy who is hungry. So his first basic need is to get food, to earn money, uh, to support his family members. So, really, I feel ashamed of my silly advice to the boy. There is no school in my neighborhood. When they build one, I will go. Again, Sahib told that there is no school in his neighborhood in nearby places, but he promised that whenever the government will open a school, he will join the class soon. If I start a school, will you come? I asked, half joking. Yes, he says, smiling broadly. Then again, the author is trying to make fun of the poor boy. She said that if she start a new school? If she opens a new school, will he come to join the class? Then Sahib confidently admitted that definitely he will come uh, to join the school. But here the author is making fun of the poor child by uh, by making a false promise to the child. A few days later, I see him running up to me. Is your school ready? But the author has made that statement very jokingly. But here, the innocent boy took it very seriously. And after a few days, he came to the author and inquired whether she had built the school. It takes longer to build a school, I say, embarrassed at having made a promise that was not meant. Then the author made an excuse that the construction of a school takes a long time. But she was very embarrassed, very shamed at her false promise. And she realized that actually it was a fun, but her false promise has created hope in the heart of that innocent boy. But promises like mine abound in every corner of his bleak world. But this is the reality that the poor people all over the world faces such false promises every day which people never keeps. So after months of knowing him, I asked his name. Sahib A Alam, he announces. So as soon as the acquaintance between Sahib and the author increases, so one day she asked uh, him his name. Then he replied that his name was Sahib A Alam. He does not know what it means. If he knew its meaning, Lord of the Universe, he would have hard time believing it. Now the author realized that as Sahib was illiterate, uneducated, so he even did not know the meaning of his name. So the meaning of his name is Lord of the Universe. But she thought that the day when he will knew the meaning of his name, he would be shocked to know. Unaware of what his name represents, he roams the streets with his friends, an army of barefoot boys who appear like the morning birds and disappear at noon. Over the months, I have come to recognize each of them, unaware, unaware of the reality, what his name actually mean. The then Sahib every day went barefoot for his rag picking, along with his friends who emerged like morning boats on the roads and disappeared in the afternoon. Uh, but over the months, means as the author tried to mingle with the boys, now she started recognizing them by their name. Why aren't you wearing chapels? I asked him. My mother did not bring them from the self. He answers simply. So the author, when she saw that all the boys were barefoot, then she asked from one boy that why they are not wearing chapels. Then very quickly, smartly, the child replied that his mother did not take down the slippers from the shelf, and as it is out of his reach, so he is unable to do it by himself. And in this way, he is trying to hide his poverty. Even if she did, he will throw them away at another who is wearing shoes that do not match. And suddenly another boy replied that even his mother will would put down the shoes, even then he will not wear the shoes because he is habituated to uh, walk barefoot. But the boy who made this statement was wearing mismatched shoes. So now he began to feel sigh and started moving backward and hide himself. I want shoes, says a third boy who has never owned a pair of his in his life. The third boy, he replied that I wanted a shoe because I have never worn shoe in my life. Traveling across the country, I have seen children walking barefoot in cities, on village roads. It is not lack of money, but tradition to stay barefoot. So now the author admitted that she has seen many poor children walking on the roadside, in the streets. They are walking barefoot. Uh, but many of them, they claims that they are walking barefoot because of their tradition. It is a part of their tradition that they used to walk barefoot. uh, I wonder if this is only an excuse to explain why a perpetual state of poverty. So now the author is surprised to see that how people make excuses of their tradition to hide their continuous. Perpetual here means continuous state of poverty. That's end of the first video. क्या हुआ था इसमें?
ऊपर करा आके